in Gainesville, and the series at LSU leads 66-52. They first met in the SEC tournament in 1947. And the tap is controlled by the Tigers. Trey Hannibal making his third straight start at point guard.
A massive game for Florida. It's not going to be as sexy as an Auburn game, but they must do this to protect their resume that they improved so well on.
And an early touch inside for the LSU Fighting Tigers. It's been the same starting five for the last 12 games, now 13 in a row for this Florida team that is 6-4 in conference play. And an early turnover. LSU's coming off of a 109-92 loss to Alabama on Saturday. They allowed 18 threes to Bama, but talking with head coach Matt McMahon, he was more concerned with the points off turnovers and the second chance points that Alabama got. The three rattles home for Mike Williams at third, and the freshman has staked LSU to a 5-0 lead.
As you can see early, LSU's problem has not been scoring enough points. It's defensively. Tyrese Samuel on the attack there.
Fifth-year senior Trey Hannibal running the offense. He had 9 points in this matchup last year. Seventh straight season that LSU has come to Gainesville, and a nice drive and finish by Jordan Wright.
What patience by Wright. Just had the defender on his backside, just calmed him down, put him in jail, as they say, and then went to attack the rim.
A perfect start for LSU, 3 for 3. Here's Walter Clayton. And now Zion Pullen looking for something to happen. The Florida team, which is top 30 in the country in tempo, LSU has slowed them down here early. Pullen with the bounce to Samuel. Plenty of time left, the hang and a foul, and that's the first on Jordan Wright.
Nice cut there, end of shot clock by Richard. No panic by Samuel. Played it out, get themselves to the free throw line.
Big win for Todd Golden over a ranked Auburn team and a guy who hired him, Bruce Pearl, over the weekend. 81-66 against the 12th ranked team in the country. They tied a season low with 7 turnovers. They've been under 10 turnovers for the last 6 games. And while Todd is advanced analytically as a coach, he said it really boils down to about 3 things. Do we not turn the ball over? And then I was waiting for you to jump in on the other 2.
Offensive rebounds, and yeah. What's the third one? You were taking notes. I thought the most interesting thing he said, though, he said, look, one of the things that we have to do, that I'm trying to motivate my team. I told them, admittedly, we win this game against Auburn, you play yourselves into position of an NCAA tournament team. Now can I motivate them enough in a game that might not be as sold out or as advertised as Auburn, because it's just as important.
What do you talk about? Dane Bradshaw is in town. It's a big game. Here's the freshman Williams. And it'll go out of bounds and back to the Gators, who have started this game 1 for 1, but with a turnover. Matt McMahon is LSU's head coach in his 2nd season. A huge advance in the offensive prowess of this team. They're scoring 10 more points a game than they did last year. Under 70 last year. They're at nearly 78 this season. They really did a great job of improving the talent level after the first season. Ball fake and a turnaround. And Walter Clayton Jr.'s got his first.
Well, that's something he's going to have to do, because LSU is going to chase him off the three-point line, make him beat them from 2 rather than 3. He does it there.
Good job to get it inside, and Jalen Reed with the finish.
LSU is getting some good, clean looks at the basket. And what Matt McMahon has struggled with is, how can we have the best defensive lineup possible to complement our offense?
The freshman Williams commits the foul. So we're talking about last season, just 2-16 in conference play. They matched that in the first week of the season. And the points per game in conference play have jumped from 64 to 79. The issue, or outside of the defensive issues, one of the problems, and you've talked about this before, is as a whole, the league is a much better offensive conference this season than it was last year. So it's a matter of trying to keep up with the Joneses in some regard.
If you look back to last year, Missouri led the SEC in three-point percentage at 35%. that would finish 6th this season. So everybody's adding shooters, but what a job Matt McMahon has done. Shows 4 and 6 on their conference record, but boy, have they been in the gauntlet. They've had to play Tennessee, Alabama twice. So this is a very dangerous, confident LSU team.
Fadeaway jump hook from Will Baker has been a key scorer for them as of late. Remember this LSU team with Jalen Cook off the bench. He suffered a hamstring injury that kept him on the bench 2 games ago. Nice back cut, and reverse goes in for Walter Clayton Jr.
Well, Williams knows he has to take away the three-point shot, and great counter by the Florida Gators on the back door.
Baker is a threat deep and in the paint. They brought a double to him, and the result gets it to Jordan Wright, who promptly turns it over. Great hands by Richard. Here's Tyree Samuel inside. Transition bucket for Florida.
Great defensive effort by Richard. He covered the entire court, and then credit the big man Samuel having the nice soft hands in traffic, finishes above the rim.
Gators on a 6-0 run. First lead of the game. Handoff for Hannibal downhill. And it's blocked by Handlockton, excuse me. Florida on a 6-0 run. The Gators now up a pair.
Well, Richard came with the double team on one side of the court, recovered, got the deflection, and big man Samuel runs the court, gets rewarded, and an easy 2 at the rim.
Trey Hannibal 68% from the line on the season. It was a foul on Handlockton as we went to break, which was his first. Hannibal's got another one coming. And a couple of subs in, including Alex Condon for the Gators. Riley Kugel, who's been red hot from deep, has also checked in. Hannibal only played 11 minutes in their loss to Alabama on Saturday, but he had 6 assists in that span. Battled foul trouble and eventually fouled out of the game. Oh, hello. A little kickball into the Rowdy Reptiles, and somebody's got a flattened face.
Oh, boy. I think I know who got hit.
Yeah, I think so. She's going to put that on her Instagram.
Hey, yeah, if you were texting during the play, of course you're going to get hurt. Stay alert.
Here's Walter Clayton. And a little teardrop for Clayton, who quickly has 8 of Florida's 13.
Known as an elite three-point shooter. Over half of his shots come from 3, yet all of them in this game have been inside the arc. Showed you his ability to score from mid-range as well.
A 3 from Will Baker, who's had a couple of big shooting games from behind the arc at 7 feet even. Third stop for Baker, played at both Nevada and Texas, and he leans in and gets it.
He can make some tough twos. You sit there and think you got him one-on-one and force a shot like that, but those are the ones he can make if he can see the rim.
Clayton, after the hesitation, is able to sneak in.
I tell you, I love the way he has approached the game tonight. If LSU's going to run him off the three-point line, he says, no problem, I'll finish at the mid-range or at the rim.
Gators a perfect 6 for 6 to start this game. I mean, think about it, LSU is shooting 63% from the floor.
And that's been their problem in league play, right? They can score enough, but can they get enough stops?
Hannibal nearly traveled. Shot clock is low and a block at the rim. Here comes Florida the other way. 4 on 3. Poland. And Condon fouled on his way in. It's charged to Tyrell Ward.
What impresses me a lot about Florida's offense is their spacing, despite having 2 traditional bigs that aren't pick and pop threats. They've got their 3 guards out there that still get clean looks. Most teams these days try to go away from that.
Rebound brought down by Hunter Dean.
Going back to that, Tom, that was a strategy that worked well for Coach Golden at San Francisco. And you see the rim protection there, the benefit they get by having these big guys at the 4 and 5 spot.
Look at Samuel taking it all the way coast to coast. And another offensive rebound, one of the best in the country at it. Second and 40% of their misses hauled down, and it results in a second chance bucket for Zion Pullen. It's to your point. Todd was telling us before the game, he said, here I am in the West Coast Conference, having battled Gonzaga every season. They got pick and pop floors, and they're a little bit light on the inside. How can I counter that? How can I be different? And eventually got him the Florida job, second season with the Gators. And had Colin Castleton not suffered a broken hand last year, they would have made it to the big dance in year one. Offensive rebound by Derek Fountain. Wright is fouled, and they'll count it. Jordan Wright has been the missing piece in the last 5 SEC games. This will help.
Yeah, they have to have him playing at an all-SEC level the way he started conference play. Good, patient, two-finish drive for Wright. And he's a rhythm confidence player. He can have his highs and lows throughout the course of the season. So for Matt McMahon and this coaching staff, seeing him get off to a good start offensively is a huge sign.
Louisiana native has started his career playing at Vanderbilt, 4 years there. School record 36 starts his junior season.
And they recruited him to come play the 3. He had been sort of an undersized 4 for Jerry Stackhouse, but he's going to get to utilize some of that because he's got some size on these Florida guards, and you see the way they tried to post him up and get him to the rim early on in this game.
Already the 3rd offensive rebound for LSU.
Here he is now, posting up.
They show double. Dean with the pump fake and is able to draw the foul on Alex Condon. It's a first on the freshman from Perth, Australia, and it will put Hunter Dean, grad transfer out of Mandeville, Louisiana, at the free throw line.
A young man that doesn't get in the scoring column too often, but Matt McMahon describes as a genius on the court. He just cleans up everything for them on the defensive end, always in the right spot.
One and 2 for Dean. Averaging 3 points and 3 boards a game. Clayton and Pullen going to work. Beautiful roll and the finish flush from Condon.
That's an outstanding pass that very few guards in the country can make. Leave your feet, buy yourself some time, make the defense make a decision, hit the roller.
Tyrell Ward gets blocked from behind. Gators block more than 5 shots a game. Kugel, the lob! And a fight for the rebound by Thomas Houck. And a whistle against LSU.
Well, this is that last pass I was talking about with Pullen. You're taught, don't leave your feet on a pass, but elite point guards can do this, where you jump in the air, see where the defense is going to react to, find your man rolling down low. That's big time distributing right there for the SEC's best in assists per game.
Here's Condon, cut off by Dean, who picked up the foul a moment ago. Shot clock's at 7. Clayton draws 2 Tigers. Ball fake and Kugel for 3. Couldn't find the rim. 4-point game. Hey Mars, it's got to be the shoes, right?
To be able to be a Jordan brand school and to be able to outfit our guys with this, you know, it's the best shoe brand out there.
I thought his point, Dane, about, listen, it's how we supplement our recruiting. We want people to come play for the style, play for us. Big time block by Condon.
But kids these days pay attention to that kind of stuff, and
There's a lot of ancillary benefits of recruiting these days. That one is tangible, and the 3 from Mwani Wilkinson just in the game.
Yeah, Todd Golden asked me to relay a message to you that no, you can't spend the night. He found it awkward and didn't want to tell you right to your face, but he just asked me
I
to
don't know.
relay that to you.
Me and his dog Wayne got up on the right foot, so I'm a big fan. So thanks to Todd for having us to the house today to check out that gear. Richard off the mark. And his shoe guy, Jordan Talley, part of the player development squad here, was really excited about it. He's a Jordan guy through and through. 2-on-1. Richard off the glass, and No points on the follow jam. Richard going to the free throw line.
About Hawk with the rim protection on one end and going to finish on the other despite the foul. There's your boy Jordan Talley.
Yeah, he was
Came
great.
through for you.
He told me a story today. We're talking about, how many shoes he's got. And he goes, man, I might have a problem. I think I got about 80 pairs. But when he was younger and still in school, his mom didn't know how many pairs of shoes he had. So when she came to visit him in college, he tried to hide them under the mattress where the box spring is. And he said, I got away with it for a minute, but I was at practice and she sent me a picture with the mattress upturned. You are in trouble
boy.
now.
Got busted. I don't have a story like that, but it brings back memories when you went to the CD store and you had to cover up the parental advisory, hoping mom wouldn't see. And you looked at that guy behind the cash register like, you say anything, I will jump over this table.
No, Mom, NWA is a church choir. Florida leads by 3. Gators have won 5 of 6, including 2 in overtime. They've been a great close-game team, and a foul by Wilkinson in the open floor.
Well, back-to-back possessions where Florida's been able to get out in transition with the pressure and rim protection on the other end of the court. And there's just not enough margin for error for LSU to have some of those wasted possessions. Matt McMahon has talked about, man, our offense has been good enough, but when we take quick shots and ill-advised turnovers, we just can't recover from that. Puts too much pressure on us.
So here's Riley Kugel, sophomore from Orlando. He was in a real shooting slump towards the end of his starting rotation. He started the first 11 games, and he was 0 for 15 from 3. Just 7 for 33 overall. His dad, Sam, who played college football at Mizzou, keeping a watchful eye on this. And he's got those biceps covered up tonight in chilly weather in Florida.
He bought seat 12 for his right bicep and seat 14 for his left bicep. But his boy's playing a lot better in SEC play. You're right. I mean, after that slump, he's now shooting 44% from 3 in league play. So to have a weapon like that off the bench shows you why so many people think this Florida team, I think, could be as deep as the Sweet 16.
They have been one of the top 10 most efficient offensive teams in the country since Todd Golden made the change to his starting rotation. And he said, listen, part of it is when Riley and I talked, I said, you can play 29 minutes a game. We're just going to move around who's on the floor to start the game. That is a deep backcourt. That foul's on Richard, his first. Baker, beautiful bounce inside. And a challenge shot at the rim. Florida can run again. Poland thinks otherwise. Here's Kugel. Back to Kugel, and the shot was blocked. LSU comes out of there with it, down only 3. Gators haven't made a bucket in nearly 3 minutes now. Jordan Wright with a pull-up 2. Rebounded by Florida and Henlocked. What do you like about what Florida does in the half court?
Well, they've got these 2 bigs that maybe they can't shoot from the outside, but they're good passers, they're big-time screeners, and they've got good hands. And you talked about the depth they have in the backcourt, but they've got it in the front court as well. As soon as you think as an opponent, man, those big guys were tough that were starting out there. Here comes in another 6'10", 7-foot type player with a lot of muscle. That's what makes them such an elite offensive rebounding team.
13 seconds left on the shot clock. This is a Florida team, according to Ken Pom, is 11th in the country in average height. Kugel all alone, and it goes. And that speaks to the length that they've got in the backcourt. Kugel 6'5", Poland all of 6'4".
Miscommunication there. I believe that was Cook that was on Kugel and just left his man.
Cook misses the 3 early in the shot clock. Florida leads by 5. Kugel with the dish and the flush. McMahon's got to use the timeout here.
Well, the issue for LSU has been the defense, and these are 2 easy looks right at the rim. First, you're going to see the baseline out of bounds play where they just completely lose Kugel. Nobody takes the man cutting to the basket, and then the big time pick and roll here by Samuel. Nice job just catching it, going up strong. Florida dominating on that end of the court. Certainly up there for National Coach of the Year. Done an outstanding job.
LSU hasn't scored in nearly 3 minutes now. Into the hands of Trey Hannibal, and then Baker. Can't leave him alone, and he drills the three. I talked to Will after shoot-around today, and I said, did you experience a growth spurt? And it was a leading question, wondering if he grew up playing in the backcourt and then developed into a center. Ball's out of bounds. He said, you know, my mom's about 5'10", my dad's 6'4". Nobody knew I was going to be a footer. Florida's good protecting the net. Everybody loves a good block party.
Sure have, protecting around, whether it's on the ball or coming off the weak side. Condon, Hawk, Clayton Jr. getting in the mix. Look back at last game, Handlockton had 5 blocks. And so if they can get more and more rim protection, they've got great size, but if they can get more activity there, it just makes them even more dangerous. I think they could be a 6-7 block per game type team.
Here's Hannibal going to work. LSU hanging in this game. Shot clock is late. Mike Williams III tried to wrap it around. Another late shot clock situation that LSU couldn't finish. And banked in by Denzel Aberdeen. First time he's touched it tonight.
Yeah, you got to love the aggressiveness. Coming off the bench, looking to make an impact. Finishes in transition.
And an LSU turnover. Jordan Wright tried to gather with just one hand. And he tracks it down in the corner.
Well, they were fortunate. You called it, Tom. You just can't come up and try to catch that pass on the ball reversal with one hand.
It's been a series of mini runs for Florida. And they're on another one here. Richard leaking. And challenge at the rim. Wow. Trey Hannibal at 6'2", went up with the 6'4" Richard and denied him at the house.
Well, if there's one guy that never quits on a play, it's Hannibal. Richard kind of hangs out back here, and he's just expecting something good to happen. This is snowbirding all day right here. He thought there was going to be a turnover on Wright. LSU picked up the loose ball. He said, you know what? I think my teammates got it. I'm going to hang it back here. Going to get himself to the free throw line as Hannibal goes up to stop the easy two.
Richard 75% from the free throw line. Great effort by Trey Hannibal, who fouled out of the game on Saturday against Alabama. That was a game that LSU led 73-72. And then Alabama went on a 13-2 run. They hit 6 threes in the final 8 minutes of the game. Tigers have lost their offensive touch, just one for their last 7.
See if they can't post up Jordan Wright. I think that's a pretty good look for him.
Out to Baker, drilled it again.
Todd Golden puts his palms up and says, hey guys, I told you he was a shooter. Get out there and close out. Double our hands.
2 for 4 in the Alabama game. He had 4 threes in the game before that. Step back, drilled it. The mini for Clayton.
I mean, he's in a zone right now, and we know him as a three-point shooter, but right now he says, all right, you're going to make me beat you from 2, no problem. 5 of 6, 12 points already.
Yeah, how do you slow that guy down? 47% from 3 over the last 4 games, so he takes it inside the arc tonight. Right directing traffic. Williams behind the back to the 5th year. Shot clock at 5. Running hook shot, no. Fountain is there, one of the best offensive rebounders in the league. Here's Clayton, transition 3. Offensive board for the Gators. And they get a look for 3 again. Got it this time. First triple for Will Richard tonight. Mike Williams fouled on his way in. It's a second on Handlockton.
Well, it's hard enough to stop Florida once, but if you can't collect the offensive rebound, good luck stopping them a second time, and that is the best time to get a wide open three as the defense is sucked into the paint, trying to crash the glass, and then they're trying to close out on shooters. Richard knocking on the door of 1,000 points, am I correct?
That's right, 3 away now. He'd been only shooting 22% over his last 4 games from 3. Right outside the Ward. Handlockton with the rebound. Pardon me, Condon. Oh, look at that move! Look at that move! Walter Clayton Jr. As good as the dunk was, I think it started with his hesitation at 20-foot mark. Quick pass into the corner for 3. Ward beats the buzzer but can't get it in. Pullen gives Samuel a touch. Goes back over his left shoulder. 8 for Tyrese Samuel. Got downhill, another corner 3, and Ward drills that one.
Boy, did they need that after a couple highlight plays by Florida, crowd into it. That man trying to get to this next media timeout.
Walter Clayton Jr. was born in frost-proof Florida. These rims are not dunk-proof. He almost tore them down.
We mentioned this guy's in the zone. It doesn't matter who's there. I mean, Todd Golden's got a decision make. You might have to sit this guy next game. You got video evidence of assault on another man? How's he going to play next game?
Man, that was impressive.
Yeah, to your point, though, it's a highlight that shouldn't have ever happened. LSU just ran away from the ball, and you have to stop the ball in transition. You can't worry about anything else.
Here's Fountain for 3. 77% of Fountain shots come at the rim. It's rare for him to venture outside of the county like that. Here's Samuel. Nice move by Condon for his second bucket of the game.
I just love how these guards and bigs can coexist. These bigs space it so well. You got one on the elbow, one on the block. If one makes a move, he spaces opposite, and they still get the patience and the scoring opportunities they need.
And an illegal screen will go against LSU. It's a second on Ward. Matt McMahon's team trailing by double digits right now. This team has been playing great offensive basketball 5 consecutive games. They've made 10 threes or more. It's the first time in school history.
And no fast break points for LSU, so that just shows they've not been able to get any live ball turnovers on this end of the court. And if Florida does miss, not able to make it back.
Oh my goodness, it's a rock party now.
Well, I mentioned the passing ability of these Florida bigs. How about Samuel with a dime to the cutter?
Kugel paid it off. He's got 4. Florida's made each of its last 5 field goal attempts. Remember, they started the game 6 for 6. First bucket for Jalen Cook. Kugel again. You think this Florida team is playing loose and fun?
And together and balanced. And here's Samuel just knowing that his teammate is going to cut from that backside corner. That's practice, that's repetition, and being on the same page.
Wright takes a seat. Milwaukee Wilkinson replaces him on the floor for LSU, and a free throw coming for Riley Kugel.
This is a Florida team that doesn't just have 1 or 2 guys that can get 20 plus on you any given night, literally 5 or 6. And so it makes it so difficult as an opponent to figure out, all right, who are you going to try to take away? Because as soon as you dedicate time and defensive attention to one guy, the next guy's going to make you pay.
Dean puts it on the floor. And they get a jump ball called. Possession to Florida.
Well, great scouting report there by Samuel. I mean, he knows that Dean is not a shooter, so he does not close out of the three-point line. He just waits for him down there. That's what allows him to make that great defensive effort. Not because of his instincts, but because of the scouting report that says, I'm not going to run out to the three-point line on a non-shooter.
1-3 in 5 seasons of college basketball for Dean, who started his career at Southern Miss and also played at George Washington. Google gets turned around and turns it into a reverse, and it was halfway home. Tips out into the hands of Condon. Great effort by this Florida team. He's got a half dozen now.
This is a big part of Florida's offense, is the offensive rebound. You mentioned it, the effort, just constantly going after it. Even if I can't get it, Florida will tap it to their teammate who can. And again, the spacing by the Florida bigs, I think, is such a key to their offense. And what a luxury it is when you're Todd Golden to say, hey, just get it up on the rim. Because if you miss, there's a good chance we're going to get it back. Second best in the country at it.
Another free throw comment for Will Baker. Mentioned his ability to shoot from deep. He said that's really all it was playing for Shaka Smart of Texas, just a pick and pop stretch 4, and then got to Nevada, ran the triangle offense, and spent a little bit more time in the paint. 2-year starter at Nevada, was third team all conference in the Mountain West, had 9 20-point games for the Wolfpack.
Had a heck of a first half against Alabama. 22, I believe, of his 24. They made adjustments, took him out of the game with a different matchup, made him turn it over in the second. But LSU is going to need to have 40 minutes out of number 9 if they want any chance at an upset.
Gators have made 7 of 8. Baker with the shot clock at 10, trying to power his way in. The lefty got cut off. A jump hook, and he drills it.
He just makes some of the toughest shots. You know he wants to get over that right shoulder with the left jump hook, and still unable to stop it.
Shot clock is off for Florida. Here's Poland for 3. He got it.
Unbelievable.
What a half for these Florida Gators. The last shot comes up short. They shoot 67% in the first half. That Golden's goals are on pace for what they want for a game. Fewer than 12 turnovers. Defense has been sensational. And they've been good on the glass, +7.
LSU putting too much pressure on their half-court offense, too, because they have gotten 0 fast break points because of their inability to get stops or turnovers on the other end. And they get into these late shot clock situations that are tough.
Lazy pass from right, nearly picked off. Got it back. Had it knocked out of his hand, then stymied again. Here's Clayton. And 2 huge threes in the overtime win at Rupp. 1 to force overtime, and then 1 to take from the lead for good. With about 1:30 left in that overtime period. Tyrese Samuel working in the post now. In and out. Offensive board and a putback for Micah Hanlockton.
They're just so active down there, and they expect for their teammates on when they're going to shoot the ball, and they prepare well ahead of time for the offensive rebound position.
LSU 41% shooting in this game. 5 of their 13 makes have come from 3. And dribbled off the foot of Jalen Reed, and it's a turnover. One issue of the others that Matt McMahon has, the best guy as a creator on his team is Jalen Cook. He's not a starter right now. He's on the bench. He only has 2 points in this game.
Yeah, and he's not their best defender either. And so that's where it becomes tough when you're fighting to get stops. How do you have your best group in there that can still score the ball on this end of the court? Because Trey Hannibal, he's good at attacking the rim, but limited offensively.
The rotation from Baker, that's his 3rd 3 of the game.
He has come to play. I mean, this guy is red hot over his past 5 games or so. And early in the season, he was struggling from 3. And Matt McMahon told us, he goes, I'm not worried about it. Don't believe the percentages. We want him to shoot every chance he can get.
Samuel took a bump. And LSU comes out of there with it. Trey Hannibal, who had an 11 rebound game against Tennessee 2 games ago. Hannibal on the baseline, outside for 3.
There you go.
That's Jalen Reed.
Hannibal getting them going, getting both his bigs wide open threes. And I like what they've done the past couple of times on the defensive end. Make Samuel, Ford and White, beat you one-on-one down low. Then they just have to finish the defensive possession as they did last time down.
And an open floor foul charge to Mike Williams III. It's his second.
Nice job by the veteran Hannibal in the half-court offense. Just a simple pick and pop. And too much help there really on the ball screen. And here he is jumping in the air, drawing the defender, kicking it out to the 4-man Reed, who's starting to get hot from 3 lately as well. This is what LSU wants. Make the guards give it up to the bigs, see if the bigs can beat you offensively. Take it out of their hands.
It's at 1 now, released before the buzzer. Good! Zion Poland, Trey Hannibal just threw his head up like, what am I supposed to do?
Well, I think what they're supposed to do is glue to those guys on the outside and trust your bigs down low, because if somebody's going to beat you offensively, make Florida's bigs beat you. These guards are too explosive.
Hannibal inside, able to go into and draw the foul from Zion Poland.
Here's the pull and 3 coming up here. You'll see Hannibal trying to help the big man down low here. He tries to do that, but then he's got to recover and get out. Once your big comes out, you got to be able to close out, make them put it on the deck. And again, that's what makes Florida so dangerous. Poland, known for his distributing, but very capable from 3 as well.
Hannibal's from Hartsville, South Carolina, Hartsville High School. He was the co-player of the year on the 4A state championship team in 2019. In his last high school game, Trey Hannibal scored 62 points and had 20 rebounds.
I can believe it. That guy's an absolute wrecking ball. And so aggressive on both ends of the court.
In the scout today for Florida, what did they call him? A stampede driver?
Yeah, a stampede driver. If that doesn't get the point across, I don't know what will. See, I just want to dig down there.
Yeah.
Why not just leave Samuel one-on-one? Now you kick it back out to Clayton. You're closing out on a shooter. He beats you on the drive. Just stay on your man on the perimeter and trust the one-on-one defense down low.
Hannibal got tied up. Florida gets to the loose ball. Here's Richard. Frustration mounting on the LSU side. Meanwhile, Florida is flying high.
Well, Todd Golden wanted to see consistency from his Florida team, how they would respond after a big home win against Auburn. And Richard says, how's that look for you, coach? Because of that, but how about Jerry Stackhouse and his Vanderbilt Commodore team? Sometimes losing can become easier the more you go through it, and clearly that shows the Commodores still have a lot of fight left in them.
Taylor and Radford combined for 35, but not enough. Here's Baker with an air ball from the wing. He's been the most reliable offensive performer for LSU the last couple of games. And a 3 from Clayton is good.
You better get a hand up on him, make him put it on the deck, but he's just feeling it right now. And going back to that A&M Vanderbilt game, that's the exact thing that Todd Golden stressed to his team was, hey, that was such a huge Auburn win. Don't let all of that be taken away from our resume with a home loss to LSU. But right now, Florida Gators, despite that defensive 3 they gave up, playing pretty solid.
That was Cook for the 3 a moment ago. Poland challenged 2. And Baker lost a handle on it. 17-point Florida lead jumped over the weekend with the win against Tennessee from a 10 seed to a 7 seed. They're going to give some of that ground back up before they head to T-Town. Kugel whips it inside, and a beautiful finish by Alex Condon.
Have you seen a big bobble a pass or drop a pass in this game? I mean, they just have mitts when you throw it up at any speed to them.
You know, I was talking with Tubby Smith years ago. Beautiful finish by Tyrell Ward. And he said, you know, when I had Rondo at Kentucky, he complained that the bigs dropped too many passes. And so I looked at him dead in the eye and I said, maybe your passes aren't good enough. And his reply was, what do you mean? I'm hitting him in the hands. He said, yeah, that's true. But sometimes you've got to hit a big exactly where he wants it. That was a little bit high, but great hands by Alex Condon.
But Condon came in with high hands. And so to your point, I mean, that's on target. You want the ball to be caught high to where you can keep it high and finish above the rim. And so many of their assists, whether it's bigs to guards, have been on the move. And that's a hard completion when your teammate is coming towards you at full speed and you're still throwing a bullet.
12 assists tonight for Florida. There's a turnover.
Well, you look at Florida right now and you say, okay, who can get hot here? And even though we have not said his name
LSU or
much,
Florida?
or excuse me, LSU, thank you. 15 in purple. Ward has multiple times this season gone on streaks where he's made 3 consecutive threes that have brought LSU back. See if they can get 15 the ball and try to give them a spark offensively.
Thomas Hawkins whistled for the foul. He's hit 3 consecutive threes twice this season. He really got hot once SEC play started. Reed, little bump inside, and he walked with it.
Just great footwork by these Florida bigs. They knew when Reed gets the ball on the elbow at any time, it is a clear out for him to go to work. They sat on it, and they were ready defensively.
That's the 8th turnover of the game for LSU, doubling what Florida has done in the turnover department.
A little bit of a zone look for LSU.
First time we've seen it tonight. Where does Florida want to go here?
I think you want to try to hit the short corner if you can.
Condon going high-low, and a foul charged to Jalen Reed. This strikes me, and I shouldn't be surprised, and this shouldn't be such an outlier, but not just a extremely talented Florida team, but also a very unselfish team.
They are, and when I think back to some of the great Florida bigs and the terrific passers, I had the privilege to play against Al Horford, Joakim Noah. Man, those guys could pass. They could share the ball. Lee Humphrey throwing that thing down to Al Horford. If you double team, he's kicking it right out to you. You had Torian Green on the perimeter as well.
There's the shooter.
Man.
Still holds the NCAA record for threes made in the postseason tournament.
Yeah, if anybody was wondering who that guy in khaki pants and the beard that was in pregame hitting nothing but net almost from half court, it's your boy Lee Humphrey.
So you guys are the same age, and Lee was getting all this recruiting love, but back then there was no Instagram. There weren't highlights all over the place. You would just read a guy's name and his stats or his ranking. The first time you heard Lee Humphrey's voice, were you a little surprised?
Not what I expected. So I was out of Memphis, Tennessee, and Tennessee had already signed me, but there was a lot of criticism over why the heck did you let the kid from Maryville go?
No, that'd be Murrayville, but go ahead.
And so we go to a Nike All-American camp at the time, and I'm expecting something different than Lee Humphrey, and all of a sudden I hear him introduce himself. Hi, I'm Lee Humphrey. I like to ride jet skis in my off time. I was like, that's the guy? And then he came out there and just started busting heads. The rest is history.
I like how you gave him the Dane Bradshaw accent. There is a difference between the East Tennessee and West Tennessee twang. Right fouled, and he'll go to the free throw line. I was just thinking, why not? We already heard your draw. Why don't we listen to Sean Kelly and Lee Humphrey a little bit? The fun part is Sean Kelly, who also works for ESPN, is now going to send an invoice in.
See, if Lee knew he was about to be on the air, he probably would have been with. And then Dane Bradshaw tried to guard me, and that was the funniest part.
Let me tell you, I had Florida's game at Rupp last year, and Lee was out there getting shots up before the game. And then, of course, the actual team came out to warm up, and he was so disappointed. The Kentucky people were very confused. Who is this guy that's out here shooting on our floor? He was wearing khakis, shirt untucked. C.J. Frederick was working with their strength coach.
The beard was still in effect, right?
It was actually maybe a little bit rattier than it is right now. And I looked at C.J. and I go, "You don't know who that guy is, do you?" He said, "No." And I go, "Let me tell you a story. He's got 2 rings."
Yep.
Google with the mid-range. He's got a half dozen now.
Special group that
Oh, by the
Corey
way,
Brew and them decided to run it back. Maybe Bobby Hurley and them.
a couple banners. I have not seen a Florida hockey banner yet, but that's why Sean Kelly's wearing that
These
jersey.
Florida fans were tough on me in here, by the way.
Oh, I want to hear that story next.
They were creative. They found my sister's media guide picture from D2, Barry University nearby. And every time I got the ball, they reminded me, Bridget's better.
Not seen the same sort of effort from today's generation, but consider that a challenge.
There's a lot of things that were said that could lead to expulsion these days.
Yeah. LSU had made 5 of 7 before that miss from Cook. They had really started to turn it up a little bit to make it a 16-point game. They scored 78 a game. Here's Richard for 3. And Jalen Cook tracks down the long rebound. Gave it right back.
LSU still searching for their first fast break point.
(9-0) in the fast break department.
That's where you want to tell them. They hit that short corner. They can get a lot of good looks out of that.
Ooh, try to bank it in. Out front, Hannibal is going to get a trip to the free throw line.
Hannibal initiates the contact there. Now he must convert at the line. Just try to scratch and claw your way back into this game. See if you can't get it into single digits, because this zone on the other end has made Florida a little bit stagnant, and their shot quality has been a little bit less than it has been so far in this game.
Yeah, 7 for 15 this half. It is a fall off after a quick start to the half. Here's Hannibal again at the free throw line. Trey Hannibal, 2 points and 6 assists in 11 minutes in the Bama game. It's his second point of the game. Played for Matt McMahon at Murray State. After starting his college career 3 seasons at South Carolina. Playing for Frank Martin at South Carolina, and I don't know that another coach, this is a stretch and maybe not fair to say, but struggled more during the COVID season when it came to reaching his team than Frank Martin. Now at UMass, but a guy who's both tough on his guys, can kick them in the butt, then put his arm around their shoulders and give them a hug. And I remember talking to that season, South Carolina had very strict rules. They couldn't leave the dorm except to come to basketball practice. They couldn't hold meals together. And he said, I just can't reach these guys. I can't challenge them in the same way because they don't know me well enough. They're not around me enough to where then I can then hug them. Ward gets the whistle.
If I'm not mistaken, he had it about 3 times that season himself, right? Had some tough bouts with it, but you always know they're going to be coached hard. So Trey Hannibal, of course, a nice fit here. And that's the second time now that LSU has really gone at the rim, initiated the contact, and try to see if they can't get back into this game from the free throw line.
Tyrell Ward played at DeMatha from the D.C. area. He's got another one coming.
So out goes 6'11" and 6'9", and in comes 6'10" and 7'1". And the depth on the front court is arguably just as dangerous as the depth in the backcourt for different reasons.
What has Florida failed to do against the 1-3-1?
Well, I think they got to get the ball moving a little bit quicker. Here they're going to try to ball screen it, but get it in that short corner and let those bigs pass on the interior. That's where they've got some good looks.
Google from the baseline.
See, I think he missed Samuel right in that same spot instead of pull up contested. Trust your bigs, cut to the basket.
See if they switch it up on the baseline out of bounds for LSU. Looks like they're going man now. Samuel clearing some space into a jumper. And rebounded by Ward. Here's Fountain out in front and gets the whistle on Samuel.
Getting the stop, not allowing the offensive rebounds. Traditionally in that zone, it's tougher to box out. But LSU's been able to make Florida one and done and then get the tempo up this direction as Florida's backpedaling and take it to the defender.
Derek Fountain 73% from the free throw line. He had a double-double against Florida last year, 13 and 12.
I think sometimes, Tom, your offense your lack of success offensively can dictate your defensive intensity. That's what's happened a little bit with Florida. As they haven't been able to get in a rhythm on the offensive end, they hadn't been getting back as fast in transition. They hadn't been getting set in their defense, and they have been on their heels. It's been the least productive 3 minutes they've had all game.
Haven't scored in 2:15. Just one bucket in their last 8 tries. Try to get it to Samuel in the high post that time. There he is at the elbow. Back into the corner. A ball fake before the 3. And an offensive board by Poland. You know, we talked with Matt McMahon at length about Florida's ability to get on the offensive glass. Mismatch inside, an extra pass, and whoa, what a block by Fountain. 5 seconds left in the shot clock on this baseline out of bounds coming up.
Well, that's a big-time effort by Fountain because this was terrific interior passing. And Fountain comes to save it. They've got to lock in here, keep racking up these stops.
Shot clock winding down. Deep 2. But McMahon's point doesn't affect Florida as much as it does other teams that are great offensive rebounding teams like Texas A&M or even Alabama when the long threes kick it so deep. He said, you know, there's a difference between just diving in and getting to the glass versus if you're on the perimeter checking your guy and then going to get the ball. Cook with a bucket.
So many of Florida's offensive rebounds come on the interior, inside shots, inside rebounds, so your guards must rebound down like that right there.
And a putback and one for Tyrese Samuel.
And remember that play because LSU had just cut it to single digits. And here is what they do almost as good as anybody in the country. Second chance opportunity. Samuel with an and one that's probably not going to make a highlight reel. But see if that reestablishes some momentum for Florida if they can't carry that over to the defensive end. If nothing else, get back, get set on defense after a make, which they hadn't had the luxury of being able to do in the last few minutes.
Only a 54% free throw shooter, but knocks that one down. By the way, that three-point play ended a 7-0 LSU run and a stretch of the Tigers that outscored the Gators 12-2. Jalen Cook. Here's Wright. First field goal this half for Jordan Wright. And Samuel immediately goes into him to draw his second person. But Wright's former team, Vanderbilt, getting a walk-off winner against A&M tonight.
That was a shocker, man. I mean, good for Magnon, who came in. He's one of the top point guards in the SEC. Has been a little bit up and down.
Goes off of Hanlogton. Great effort by Trey Hannibal.
How about the fight from LSU? When you're down that big on the road in the second half, you've lost 5 of your last 6. I mean, that's typically when the knockout blow occurs for the home team, but not under Matt McMahon. They switch it up, they get the zone, they change the tempo and flow of the game.
They put the clamps on Florida defensively. Gators have made 1 of their last 11. Right. Multiple pump fakes, and it rolls home. The zone was effective. Back to man now for LSU. And Hannibal was trying to fight his way around the screen, but got whistled for the foul. That's his second.
They're able to make them settle for 3. They've been able to clean up the defensive glass, get to the other side of the court, where they've been 7 of 10 from the free throw line, really going hard at the rack as LSU. 7 of 10 in the second half, I should say.
The Gators have 24 shot attempts in the second half to only 12 for LSU. That efficiency has been key. Handlock to man got away with a push-off.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
I think so. Got to sell it.
Taken away by Trey Hannibal. Hannibal hard, and he's going to the line. The foul is on Clayton. And 2 shots coming for Trey Hannibal.
Hannibal just with the quick hands there. I mean, this is just cookies right here. Give me those. And takes it down. Doesn't even think about hesitating on this one. Now he's got to convert at the line where he's been really good for LSU. Just getting to the charity stripe to slow this game down, get some chip away at the lead while the clock is stopped.
LSU made it a point to pound it in and draw whistles at the start of this half. And then the 1-3-1 zone, which is the 3rd consecutive game that Florida has been stymied by that look. Auburn threw it at him. A&M threw it at him. Really slowed the Gators down on the other side.
And just about every time LSU's been able to get to the stripe, it's been in transition, where they had 0 fast break opportunities in the first half. This time they're able to make Florida be one and done on this end, and then they are pushing it.
Back to the zone look. Kugel can't find anything. Poland, beautiful dump down, and the pass to Samuel for the jam.
That is a dynamite dime right there. Bounce pass, up and finish for the big man.
I've got a graphic idea. Dane's Dynamite Dimes. Little alliteration for you. Cook goes around Hanlogton. Able to find a cutting fountain. No whistle. It'll be LSU basketball with 8 seconds on the shot clock.
Well, and you'll see there's not a lot of attention on that backside there because you've got Clayton Jr. on the wing. And so that perimeter defender is extremely concerned about the shooter instead of being in more traditional help defense.
Oh, no. Wright just threw it, thinking Hannibal was going the other way. Nearly turned it over. Good ball movement. Here's Cook. Needed that one. Couldn't find the rim. The shot clock winding down. And so Matt McMahon going to the bench, and Tyrell Ward will give Hannibal a breather. LSU is right there. They've got 4 losses this season by 4 points or fewer.
They're going to need somebody to bring the same intensity that Hannibal did, because he's been terrific here in this second half as he gets a breather.
Gators ice cold, just 2 for their last 13. Near steal by Cook. Follow jam, Micah Hanlogton. That's a mouthful. He's a handful. Cook for 3. And a timeout taken by LSU immediately following the second triple of the game from Jalen Cook. Trey Hannibal's still on the bench. He was busy in that timeout, though. The ball boys were busy wiping up the floor in front of the LSU bench. He came out there to help him. Pullen with the pull-up. A dozen for the transfer from UC Riverside now.
And they go at Cook. It wasn't bad defense.
Oh, wow! Hunter Dean.
Dean dunking on your head was not a threat in the scouting report.
Fountain with the steal. Remember, it was a 20-point Florida lead. Cook dancing with it. Beautiful pass to Fountain in the finish.
Fountain just caught Samuel ball watching there as Cook was playing with the ball. Terrific cut. Great pass. Eyes up.
Tigers have made 6 of 8. Pullen fade away. Handlocks, it's tipped no. Samuel left it short but got the whistle. It's a third on Hunter Dean, who had a hand on one of these buckets.
LSU just will not go away. Just slips the screen there. Nice job. Backside help not there. And then here's Fountain that's going to do this baseline cut here as Samuel's going to stare at the ball and not realize his man's cutting behind him. Great job hiding and sneaking along that baseline by 20 in purple.
Tyrese Samuel from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Misses the first. Started his college career at Seton Hall. Leads the SEC and is tied for 7th in the country with 9 double-doubles tonight. On the season, I should say. 5 boards away from another. He'll get a breather. Thomas Houck back on the floor. Staggered screen for Tyrod Ward, but Cook didn't get it to him. Here's a pull-up. Got it! 10 of Cook's 12 have come in the second half.
He's their most explosive player on the offensive end that can create his own, and they're going to need it. He's stepping up big time on that end of the court.
Houck inside. Pull up for Pullen again.
That's just a pro shot right there. Pullen is so comfortable in that mid-range shot.
Cook for 3 with a hand in his face was an air ball. Feels like LSU has expended a lot of energy to get to this point. Will they have more energy in the final 3-8?
Digit game here with 3 minutes to go when that lead ballooned to 20. But you have to credit Matt McMahon's adjustments here in the middle of the second half and LSU's continued fight.
Wright is all over Pullen. Now Dean helping out. Shot clock is at 4. Pullen can't shake Wright. And he steals it. Here comes LSU. Wright all the way in, and he gets fouled by Houck.
Well, you can't play defense any better than that. And first it starts with a hard hedge by Dean. He gets out there and makes it very difficult for Pullen to turn the corner, and then Wright recovers and just plays great one-on-one defense, expecting that pull-up jumper that Pullen loves. And then Wright takes it to the rim where they've been so good at getting the whistle and getting themselves to the free throw line.
Jordan Wright now 3 of 4 from the free throw line tonight. Samuel returns. Wright's got another one coming. He's made 20 of his last 23 free throws. And that run improves. LSU down 5. Clayton got a half step on Handful, then the ball fake. But he puts up an air ball from a foot away.
They reset the clock and then never hit the rim.
That's right.
Have to look at that.
LSU has outshot Florida in the second half, 42 to 33%.
Definitely did not hit the rim. Closer than I thought in person or live. LSU's done a pretty nice job. They had the one breakdown in the first half where Kugel got loose on the baseline out of bounds. Other than that, they've defended this pretty well.
Here's Condon. Clock winding down. And Wright gets up for the rebound.
That's where you have to rebound down, help out your bigs, just like that.
To make it a one-possession game now, approaching the 2-minute mark of regulation. Wright, jump stop, steps through, reverses it in. He has taken over in the second half. It's now a 3-point game with 2 to play. Poland from 17 feet, no. Follow, no. Fountain the board. Florida has won 5 of its last 6. LSU has lost 5 of its last 6. But it's the visiting Tigers that have the momentum here late. Here's Ward. 3, and we're tied at 78.
How about Ward? While everybody was watching Wright jab step and do the ISO, Ward was the one guy on the court moving, found the open spot.
It's a 7-0 LSU run. Where can Florida go on the offensive end?
They need to get this ball in the paint, create an offensive rebounding opportunity on the interior.
Poland fumbles it. It's Condon now with the ball fake in the drive. Can't find the rim again. LSU out of there with it. Here's Tyrell Ward. And he rushed the shot to take the lead.
And he tried to avoid the contact instead of what's been working for them in the second half, seeking the contact, get to the free throw line.
Behind only the Magic of Kansas State, 6-0 in OT this year.
Florida goes with a 4-guard lineup for the first time, I think, all evening.
Poland bounce pass, good cut. And a blind shot from Kugel, but Samuel gets fouled with 38.2 left.
And a nice set play and great counter by Todd Golden that says, you know what, we hadn't been getting anything going on the offensive end. Let's get a quicker lineup in here, and you get the back cut. And we talked about it. Get an inside shooting opportunity, knowing how good of an offensive rebounding team you are with your 5. Samuel gets it.
Samuel's got one more coming his way. Just a 54% free throw shooter on the season.
There's that offense for defense substitution now for Florida. Get big when you go to the defensive end.
One of 2 to live up to his numbers. LSU having its best shooting half this season in the second stanza tonight at 64%. Cook lost it. Taken away by Poland. Samuel gives it up. Clayton with the bucket. The lead is 3 with 20.4 left. The decision for Clayton to push it, leading only by 1.
Well, it all starts with the steal. Something Florida doesn't get a lot of, but just active hands by Poland, gets to the deck. And good job by Samuel that says, hey, let me give this to a guard. And I like Clayton, when you got that big of an opening right at the rim, go ahead and get the 2 points. I like Jordan Wright. And if this does get down to 5 seconds, I foul if I'm Florida.
Wright turns the corner. Nobody stops him. They take it 2, and that leaves him down 1. 15 points for Jordan Wright. A 1-point difference, so obviously LSU will foul immediately.
Well, he's such a versatile player, and Florida was so concerned about the three. So out on these ball screens, the defense is pressed up on the perimeter. You see in the corner there, Clayton is not leaving Ward. So there's no ball side help whatsoever because they do not want to give up a corner three. No help, right with an easy two.
And LSU down 1. They outscore Florida by 13 this half. Everybody covered. They get it in quickly to Condon, who's fouled. He's a 69% free throw shooter. He was on Dean, and that's his 5th. Got another one. Regardless, as long as LSU gets the rebound, they'll have a shot at a win or a tie. LSU out of timeouts. Misses the second. Here's Wright. He's got Cook on the wing. Wright dumps it off with 2 on the clock. Wright all alone. And he missed it, but was fouled. No whistle, no foul, and Florida survives. It's the second one Wright has missed at the buzzer in conference play. 1 of 3 against Georgia. Broke the ankles, got it back in the paint, was all alone. The putback was blocked. And a missed opportunity for LSU.
Not much more mayhem than the way Florida fought here towards the end of the game. The big play there defensively. They just could not put this LSU team away, but this was a huge one here with the live ball turnover. Something they don't really get a lot of, and just made enough plays at the end